All right, guys, we had some really great news coming out of Europe today that will be a boon, a nice boon for gold and silver prices moving forward. But to start out, we had to start out with Wall Street Silver today, as there's a cool meme here that basically encapsulates why we are silver stackers. Here you have a guy who says he's a millionaire in 2010 with a nice house, nice car, and then you have a guy who says he stacks silver with nothing. Then you move to 2020, the guy has a nice house, but not that nice house and car that he had. This guy says he's a silver stacker, has a house. 2030, you got the guy in a poor house, and then you got a guy in a nice house with a nice car who stacks silver. Then at the bottom, you have all the onlookers saying, hey, he's a silver stacker, and that guy is now in a castle by the year 2040. Now, obviously, there's some hyperbole here, but the point still remains the same, that the dollar, if you are a millionaire in dollars, that will mean less and less over time. A millionaire in the year 1900 meant a lot more than a millionaire in today's time because of the devaluation of the dollar. So that is just one thing to keep in mind when it comes to holding your wealth in paper. Now, we had some great news coming out of Europe today with the ESI, the European sentiment indicator, which almost kind of acts like a PMI, but you get to see what's happening all over the euro area. So check it out. April 2021, economic sentiment and employment expectations continue their strong recovery in the EU and the euro area. So why is this important? Well, it's going to keep strengthening the euro against the dollar. It's going to apply some downward pressure on the dollar, as the euro is one of the strongest competitors against the dollar in the DXY. Now, we start to see a little bit of that happening in anticipation of the release of the ESI today, going into Thursday. Now, obviously, we have some correction going on as the Euro USD is starting to come down a little bit today, but leading into the day, it was on a tear. Just look at this, guys. It was just rising immensely, and then now it's starting to correct a little bit. So as we move on in the coming days, I expect to see, or maybe even just coming weeks, I expect to see more strength in the euro versus the dollar within the DXY. And we started to see that yesterday. The DXY came down, pretty precipitously, as there's anticipation of great news coming out of Europe. So those of you who live in Europe, I'm sure maybe you guys are also seeing this being reflected within your own countries. Now, what I tend to do with this information is download it and put it into some Excel spreadsheets to see which countries are performing better than others. So I'm going to be doing that for myself. I encourage you guys to do that as well, just to see what's happening specifically with each country in the Eurozone. Now, obviously, because the dollar, or obviously because the EUR over USD is strengthening, that is giving the dollar a little bit of strength today. So you're seeing, you saw a huge drop here with gold and silver prices after the open, but they're starting to, try to correct a little bit here. But obviously, as we move on, I expect to see more and more strength in gold and silver prices as we start to see more strength within the euro and more strength within the European economy. So guys, let me know what you think about, the ESI coming out today, the lead up of the euro over USD strengthening, and are you shaken by this little correction here? I personally am not, but let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.